Welcome to Genuine Core, guys. This is the sixth video in the JFoenix tutorial, and in this video I'll be showing how to use the JFX slider in your program. This is a JFX slider that takes value between 0 and 255, which is used for drawing a particular color. This belongs to red color, this belongs to red, this belongs to green, and this belongs to blue, which gives us white. So let's see how we can make this program. Let me start from the beginning. The variables initialization are not required at this level, so I'm just removing all of that, and basically we don't need these two. So you can add a JFX slider from the library using the JFX slider class, and this is how a normal JFX slider looks like. It does not have any tick marks, any units or something like that. It is just a slider with values between 0 and 100. In our case, I want to set it between 0 and 255 and the initial value to something like 1. Okay, so that's it. And if I run the program, I got a simple slider with the marker or indicator onto the top side. So there is two options, that is you can set the indicator position as left of the slider or right to the slider, and in this case it is set to left. I am making it to the right side so I can see that. So that's it, that's working cool. And I want two more sliders in this program in order to represent red, green and blue colors. So this is my second slider, and I want one more slider. So that's it, I got three good sliders. And another thing we can do is we can set the block increment. This block increment value, this is already present in the JavaFX library, and it is nothing but when you use your keyboard for moving the slider, it will increment by 10. That's look fine. And the show tick mark means you can see some tick marks, and if you want to set some values you can get that. And in my case the major tick unit is set to 25, so that's why it is 25, 50, 75 showing, and I want to set it to something like 30. So now it is changed, and that's it. Then you can also change the minor tick counts. There are 3 ticks in between each major ticks, and I want to set it to 2. Okay, and the snap to ticks allows you to get some gravity towards the ticks. I will explain that later. And I want to extend the property, the color property, for these 3 slider. So I have 3 sliders, maximum value, block increment, and I want to set a short tick for all of those, and major tick unit let it be 30, with minor tick unit number of minor tick units 2. So that's look fine. And for this JFX slider I have to set it as right, and in this case I can set it as left because it won't make any display issues. So that's it, that's the designing part. And now I have to give some code. That is JFX slider, let that be red, let this be green, and let this be blue. And one more thing I have to do is when the user clicks on the JFX slider, I want to call a function. Let that function be clicked. This is not the efficient way though. It is not recommended using this method, but we will see the efficient method later because this is simpler to understand. So when any of these 3 slider is clicked with mouse, I want to call click, and I'm generating the sample control skeleton using these things. And the pane ABCD is nothing but this pane, which is the container of these three panels, and I have given the name right here. This is ABCD pane. This is the background pane. Okay, then so I got the control section on my clipboard, and I want to copy and paste it. Fixing import using Control Shift I, and it's working. And now when any of these JFX slider is selected, the click function will be called, and you can get the value selected by the slider using get value method, like this, red dot get value. Then you can repeat this function for red, green and blue using green and blue. So that's it. Now I just want to make sure this thing is working, so I am just making a system.out console out. Now let's run the program. Now we got the slider, 3 sliders, 1 for R and G and B, and when we click on it, you can see that there is a console output, which means the function is calling. And now what we have to do is we have to set the color of this place, which is the pane, which is a background color. We can set the background color of the anchor pane using set background method. So that's it. Let's do it. So we got 3 colors, red, green and blue. Now we want to generate the color using these RGB values, which can be done using the color class color.rgb. The problem with this function is this function always takes only integers. The slider is returning double value, so we can make the double into integer using r dot to string into value. It is not yes, it is r dot into value. There should be an into value. Double r is equal to, okay, color dot. Oh, that is occurring because we set the same variable name for this, so we have to set color is equal to r dot into value, and the same for green and blue. Now we got the RGB values to the color. Now the remaining thing we have to do is we have to set the background color of the anchor pane, which is called background. The anchor pane is this, the whole container. So I'm going to do that by setting the background dot set background, which takes a background class that in turns takes a background fill, and the background fill can be associated with a color generator. So that's it. Now when we click on the slider, the color should change. See, that's it. So by setting the red, green and blue to 255, we can set the color to white, and etc, etc. We don't want the system.out, and that's it. The problem with this thing is it only support the mouse click. Currently I am using my keyboard and it is not changing its color. This is because of the event we have used. It is mouse event. An efficient way to do this is you can implement a change listener. A change listener always look for a change to the associated control, and in this case JFXSlider. So I am implementing a change listener. So on implementing change listener, I have to implement all abstract method. So this function change will be called when any change is made on the corresponding component, and I want to copy and paste this code to this change method. And the remaining thing I have to do is I have to associate this slider with a event listener, which can be done using read value property dot add listener. Thanks NetBeans. NetBeans automatically completed the statement for me, so that now this statement associated the red JFX slider with the listener implemented by my own class. So I want to repeat the steps for green and blue. That's it. Now let us run the program, and now you can see that without clicking I can change the color by just sliding around the JFX slider, or by using keyboard also I can make the change. That means any change made in the JFX slider will call the change function. It is the most efficient listener available for JFX slider, and you should use it. And that's it. That's how you use JFX slider. And thanks for watching. Subscribe for more cool videos. Thank you.